Within this course, Improving K-2 Literacy, I decided to make a game. So if I click on Resume Course, there are different sections you can go through. And later in the course, I have Game, which is to help students with their literacy skills. I decided to use Storyline 360 in order for it to be compatible easily. So we begin with the main screen and it says, can you help these students with their literacy? Click on a hand to find out what they need. So I start by noticing there's a hand above this boy. I click on the hand and it takes me, kind of zooms in to this boy, and it says click a question to see if you know how to best help this child. And he says, I don't know the sounds. So I'm going to start with question 1, and I click on the button and it takes me to the first question, which would be the best fit first steps to help a child with their letter sounds. A, review alphabet chart, or B, quick sound assessment. If I click on A, this is not the best first step, but reviewing the alphabet chart is always good practice. However, a quick sound assessment, I click B, and I have my little avatar that pops up. She says, great job, give yourself 10 points. So you get the green correct feedback and give yourself 10 points. This is a part where I was not sure how to do this. I've looked up multiple things, and so I guess I would keep my own tabs on maybe a little piece of paper next to me. And so I would prefer to have the game automatically keep track of the points. When I'm finished, I hit go back. Takes me back to this child. I'm going to go to question 2. Which activity would best help the child with beginning sounds? So again, if I click A, I get correct. Great job. Give yourself 10 points. So I would add 10 points since I got it correct. And B is incorrect. Go back. Question 3. I have my question and I have 2 choices for my answers. For this one, both are correct. So it doesn't matter whichever one you click on. You end up with correct. Both activities can help a child regain their confidence in letter sounds. I always have a go back button, which brings you back to the character that you're focusing on. If you want to go all the way back home, then you click on the green home button. So question 4. When teaching letter sounds, one should... and you have 3 choices. So when you click on A, you get great job, give yourself 10 points, and a little bit of feedback in regards to the answer. B is also correct, and there's some feedback for that. And C, all 3 are excellent choices of activities you can do to help. I'm going to go all the way back home. And now I have this little boy who has 2 hands up. He's very excited. And I'm going to click on his hand. How should I blend the sounds to make words? I click on question 1. And again, I have a question with 3 choices. Letter A is incorrect. Letter B is incorrect. Letter C is correct. And I'll give myself another 10 points. Question 3, these pictures below are an example of reading activities, blending activities, or spelling activities. Reading activities is incorrect. Blending activities would be the correct answer. So you would give yourself 10 points if you got that one first. I'm going to go back And then a couple buttons, rather than a question, are just to further enhance your learning. So there are 4 different buttons here, and it gives you directions for what to do. So if I click on the button, it opens up a new tab.
Do you keep your science lessons like this?
And it teaches you various skills that students can use to help with their blending. And then the last one, how to use acronym boxes. So acronym boxes are very critical in helping students learn to read by having them focus on how many sounds are in each word and being able to put the words back together again. So this one has a video that you can click on to watch. I'm going to go all the way back home, and this boy has another hand up, so I'm going to click on his other hand. This part's a little tricky. I wish I could make that a little more refined. Click a button to see what the problem is. I can't sound out the words. So question 1, how do you use acronym boxes to make words? Do I say the colors, say one sound at a time, or drive the car? B would be correct, so you would give yourself 10 points, and A and C are both incorrect. There's also a little button down here where you can click to watch an example of how to play the game or how to use acronym boxes properly. Question number 2 is about segmenting words. What do children need a good grasp of? Sight words, blends, or letter sounds? A would be incorrect, B incorrect, C, you get to give yourself 10 points. And at the bottom there's a song from a Leapfrog video that really helps students to remember which sound goes with which letter. There's a monster game that you click on, and it takes you to this screen, and it talks about this app and how excellent this program Teach Your Monster to Read is. And you can click to learn more about it, and it takes you to a video that explains the purpose of the game. I want to be able to learn how to make a game like this. My child enjoys this game very much. I'm going to click go back, and partner blending is the last one, where children learn a lot of literacy skills just by talking to one another to work out ideas. I'm going to go back and then home again, and I'm on my last child here, so I'm going to click on his hand. I'm having trouble hearing the sounds in words. So question 1, how can you use acronym boxes as a partner game? And then I have 2 choices here for the steps. A would be incorrect, and then B is correct. So I would give myself 10 points if I got that correct. Question 2, which activity would best support a child's letter and sound knowledge? So A is incorrect, and I gave an explanation as to why it is incorrect. B is also incorrect, and I gave an example of why. And these are both good activities, but it says which one is the best. So when you click on C, you get the correct message with 10 points. And at the bottom is a letter sound video you can click on. One thing I would like to add is sound effects for correct versus incorrect, but I was unable to get that far in the game. Sound game has 2 different activities you can click on, and it explains how these are both activities that are excellent for helping children develop their ear to help them better when reading. And finally, the process. Click the colors to reveal the color correct order that skills should be taught in. So there's a little graphic here explaining early literacy skills. And so for number 1, the foundation or the basic thing to begin with is to practice letters. So visually, click here Number 2 says practice letter sounds. So then you start matching the sounds with the letters visually. Number 3, click here. Practice listening to the various sounds to train the ear. So this can be done in different order. Number 4, blend sounds together to make simple words. And finally, number 5, segment words by taking them apart in order to spell words, which is the most advanced skill. So for the last one, it says, great job. Give yourself 50 points for reading, for taking the time to click on each one. So if you are skipping around and you don't get to number 5, then you won't see this. So I get a little feedback, and then coins falling. Once you have your 50 points added up with all of your other points, then you would get your total. And this is another screen as I have gone through this that I would like to add. And leaderboards is something that is important, where students are able to kind of compete with one another, and it increases student engagement. And I have not yet figured out how to actually link the scores to a main leaderboard. I don't know that that is something possible through Storyline 360. So I thought maybe I would make a slide where, rather than the actual players where you might put in your name or create a username and have your points listed up there, you would be able to keep track of your points on your own. And then when you go to the final page, there would be a range. And if you score a certain amount, it makes you a certain type of expert. So for instance, if you scored 200 points, you're a literacy expert. If you scored 100 points, you might be a literacy coach in training. And if you score below 70 points, for instance, you might need improvement. And so I would create a range with various levels of ability. I hope you enjoyed this game. It's interactive and it's pretty engaging. Clicking on the hands is a little bit tricky, but there are some little things here and there I would like to continue refining. Thank you.